you've been here for 3 months now,
Yep.
right? You've been an intern at Jedi Marketing for 3 months, and you've actually worked very closely with our clients in executing their content marketing strategies.
Yes.
But I've been in this business for so long that I wanted to bring you on here to bring a different perspective as someone who's green to this, because there's been an evolution from the time you started until now. And I think that some of your learnings are going to be very beneficial even for founders, because you've learned through doing the work with them. And I may not be as close to certain learnings because I take them for granted because I've been doing it so long.
Okay.
So tell us, what have been your biggest lessons in content marketing, founder-led marketing? Share your first one.
Okay, so my first one, everything has a structure. So we don't just post for fun. So literally everything that you see online, there's a reason, there's a purpose in terms of how it's shot, the caption, whatever it may be, but it all has a structure.
So let me just bring your point together. So I would say it's everything has a strategy. Like everything, you have to think about it from a strategic point of view, because in this era of digital and content creation, it's very easy for people to just start posting and like really not understand why are they posting, who does this serve, because that's been a very big thing as well. Like there's so many times where I've had to say, but Kat, who are you addressing this message to? I'm trying to think of an actual example of something where I had to question who are you targeting with this message? Can you remember anything? There've been many instances that I'm just not thinking of them right now.
I think it's mostly when I approach you with like the trendy things that's going on social media. Like I say, we should do this, but then you would say, who is it serving?
Oh yes. Like what was that challenge? You wanted to do the I listened,
but we listened and we don't judge.
And then you wanted to share some of it. And I was like, but there's no purpose to this.
There's no purpose to it.
And I actually see a lot of this content from agencies on social media where people are posting these kind of funny memes and all. And I may be a little uptight about it, but I love everything to have, a clear purpose. What is someone going to gain from this? How does it position us in their eyes? Because at the end of the day, we also want to appear as the experts that we are. And how we present on social media is very important. To just sum the point up, we're talking about everything having a strategy, a purpose, and a structure, and very important to know who you're speaking to with that, and not just get
the cloud.
Cloud, exactly. And there was a YouTube coach by the name of Sean Cannell or something who talks about this concept of customers over cloud. There are people, there are brands who can have more than 100,000 followers, but no customers in their business. And it's very important, especially as a founder, when going into social media and content creation, to think about that. Like this, at the end of all of this, you do want to acquire customers, else it's not a good use of your time. As entrepreneurs, our time is limited, our time is stretched, and so if we're going to take time out of our busy days to focus on content, there has to be a very clear route to sale. Be it in the medium term, be it in the short term, be it in the long term, it still has to lead to that. So okay, cool.
Plus you don't want your business to be known for a piece of content that has nothing to do with your brand.
Absolutely.
Imagine doing something that was trending and then you get viral from that, and then it has nothing to do with your business. You don't generate any sales.
Exactly. Exactly. Love that. Okay, next learning. What has the intern learned in 3 months?
Batch recording.
Okay.
Batch recording, that is a big one. If you have time or set the time, please batch record. So to batch record, just to give a small explanation, is basically you set a time to basically record all your content. So you basically are spending the day recording content for the following month. And then throughout the weeks, you'll make the time to edit, write captions, etc., etc. But the main thing, which is to shoot the content, it's done. So batch recording has helped a lot, especially like with one client that we have where they'll come in and we'll shoot maybe 3 to 4 videos for the month. And then from that video, we already have 4 long form pieces for YouTube. And then also from each video, we can generate short form for their TikTok, their Instagram. And it makes it easier. Because like you can already just set the time just to edit everything and have that approved. And once it's scheduled, you're good.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that point of batching, because one commonality amongst founders is how overwhelming content creation actually is. And it's important for people to understand that content creation does not have to be hard.
No.
When you do things in a structured and segmented way, it becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
So with this client that Kat is referring to, they come to our office once a month, and as you say, they record 4 videos, and they don't have to think about content creation again for the rest of the month, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it makes it easier that they have us to help with the rest. So like, you know, if you're a founder and there is someone in your team, you know, who can help with the distribution of that content, that is also very beneficial. But the hardest part is actually recording the content. So, you know what the next 4 topics you want to address are. Even with regards to the topics that you want to address, listen to your customers. You're speaking to your customers every single day. You'll get an idea of what are good topics to address, because they'll come from the things that people ask you the most. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Just sit in front of a camera and speak about what it is, you know, the problems your customers are facing, and answer those questions. You know, 10 to 15 minutes video is completely okay. You know, I remember I was so shocked when we recorded those 4 videos in a day with that client. I was like, oh, are we done already? Because it didn't even take more than 2 hours. And that's a month of content on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. And they've done so well online, by the way, but more about that later. So yeah, love the point of batch recording. Number 3.
Okay, in terms of making content, especially for thought leadership, and this is coming from a creative person.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So your content, it's 90% clarity, 10% creativity. Because with you being a thought leader, you are an expert at something. You have a specific niche that you are good at, and you're answering a problem for the audience. So you have to be clear about what you are discussing in said piece of content, and then you can sprinkle a bit of creativity. I used to have a problem with that because as a creative person, I'm thinking angles, we can shoot it like this, we can make the lighting like this, and then you reminded me like, okay, love that you have the creativity, but where's the messaging? You want people to get lost with how things look and lose the whole messaging.
Yeah, and I think you definitely have thought from a creative first stance, which has been very interesting because it's definitely added spice to our content, which is what I love, you know, because I'm not creative at all. Like, I am a full-on messaging person. So I think that balance has been great, but with founders, the pressure to be creative is not needed at all. Like, literally just sitting and talking is 100% fine. So yeah, I love that point. Yeah. Okay. Is that it from you?
Yeah, 3 points. Those are my 3 points.
Okay, so let me mention my 3 points then. Oh, this is such a good one. The importance of commitment, right? So what I have found with the clients who have experienced success in online marketing is they show up. I think one of the struggles that we sometimes have as an agency is we'll set dates, we'll have a plan in place, and you know, when it's time to execute, clients may have prioritized other things and it stalls the process, but you're just limiting yourself from results by really not being fully committed to the process. And so it's just important. It's very hard. Even us as Jedi, for me to be sitting here recording this video with all my other to-dos that I know are waiting for me, it's very hard, right? Like I feel like I do not have time for what we're doing right now, but I know how important it is. And so it is something that I'm committing to. It's in my schedule, it's a priority, and it's important to fulfill on that commitment, no matter how hard it is, because it's part of our sales process in a way. It may not be as direct as a sales call, but us building our founder brand, us building thought leadership is important for our long-term credibility, visibility, and sales. So that's the one point I wanted to mention. And as I say, you spoke about the client earlier who comes in once a month and we shoot the content. We'll share their testimonial, at some point, but their growth online has been exponential. Exponential, right? And it's been consistency. Listen, there's so many other factors. I don't want to go into too much detail because it also depends on, market demand, target audience. There are many other factors, but they've managed to have a consistent rhythm of creating content and have shown up for it all the time. And that's part of why there's just been such great traction and success and sales as well. So that's number one. Point number two is actually going to be very short, which is just the importance of being goal-oriented and focusing on your why in your content. I'm not going to go into too much detail with regards to this point because I feel like we discussed it earlier in one of your points, which is know where your content is leading to, be strategy-led, and reverse engineer, right? I feel like I want to do a whole video about this topic, but understand your sales cycle and reverse engineer your content to that. So say, for example, that you have a software that helps business owners effectively manage their bookkeeping. I'm just giving an example out of thin air, but your call to action on your website may be for people to sign up for a free 7-day trial, for the software. You have to understand, how do your marketing components lead them to that 7-day trial, right? And reverse engineer your marketing process from there. So are you going to run weekly webinars where you speak about financial management in a business, and at the end of those webinars tell people that you actually have a software that helps them solve this bookkeeping problem or financial management problem, and have them sign up? Then you'll know every Instagram post, every YouTube video, I'm trying to get people to sign up, or I want people to sign up to that free 7-day trial. So whether I'm addressing a problem that they're facing, whatever I'm educating in, I have to have that end in mind. Else it's very easy to create content that's just a distraction. Like our time is limited. Be very goal-oriented, be focused. So that was point number 2. My third point is very simple, which is start now. Sometimes we get people inquiring about our marketing services and they just want to make a sale tomorrow. That's not going to work. You also have to have a long-term focus in mind when you start creating content, right? There's going to be trial and error. There's going to be testing, there's going to be iteration. So don't only want to start marketing when you're desperate for sales and you want a sale to come in by tomorrow. That's not how it works. Audiences, customers can smell desperation. So also don't only do this just for sale. I think it's important to actually want to have a bigger education goal for your market as well, right? And so just start, as soon as you can. Build that authority. Yes, you want it to lead to business results, but also focus on the bigger picture and the general empowerment of your customers. And I think that's it for now. I think there's so much more that I want to discuss and share about all of these topics. So some of them may require individual videos, but yeah, I think this was just like a good roundup of some of the things that we've been executing and working on over the past 3 months. And I think it's been great great to hear Kat's perspective, even though I kind of hijacked a lot of her points. Thank you for watching.
Like, subscribe.
No. You see? So
it's just the YouTube lingo.
This is not YouTube lingo. So we're going to have a link that you can click below in order to learn more about some of the things that we've been talking about. So subscribe to our email list. Definitely follow us on our social channels to keep up to date, because you'll be hearing a lot from Jedi. But that's it for today, and see you soon. Cheers.